Hey YouTube, it is June 14th, 2020, and I hope everybody is doing good at Ray Horvath Productions. Hope everybody's staying safe, enjoying themselves. This is kind of our idea of social distancing. Before I get into the video, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe to the video. It doesn't cost you guys anything. It helps me out tremendously. So if you can do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it. So we're out here in the Doniana Mountains. It's on a Sunday morning. Nice breeze. I'm in the area. It's a lava flow that I like to call Little Moab. You know, the official name of this, I'm not quite sure. This is just my name for it. But as you can see, some of the climbs are quite intense, very steep, but very solid lava flow. And the hills go into the background. But anyway, a couple of things to follow up with the Kawasaki KRX. I'm now coming up on 1,500 miles, and I finally got all my accessories on it, or at least most of them. So I'm going to run that down really quick. I finally got the front bumper on. I put my Quad Boss pods. I've got those 3 in the front, which are floods, and then each one on the sides are your spots. Finally got my Super ATV windshield. I love that windshield, fold up. My opinion, one of the better windshields. My light bar, that's also Quad Boss that I had on the Talon. Also my X-Comp Gladiator 10-ply steel radial tires, which I'm running right now at about 11 PSI. Got the Kawasaki Nerf bars. They look really good. And of course, I have the trailing arm guards right in here. And I believe I showed you the A-arm guards also. One of the other things I went with is the Super ATV plexiglass back. I have mixed thoughts about that because it does get hot down here. So I don't know. I'll let you know how that goes. And then of course the Super ATV tailgate. And I did take the small light bar and install it on the back, and I have these all wired on separate rockers, so I can turn these on rocker switches and use that as a reverse light if need be. But anyway, on to the review. We've been doing some climbing out here today, and I've let my son do some driving so I could capture some drone video. But the climbing abilities are really, really good on the KRX. I'm really enjoying it. These climbs out here are relatively steep, and of course it handles it no problem. The grip is really good. Really nice just to rock crawl and climb. I have mixed thoughts about the low power mode on the KRX. Now I have used it a few times, and I'll come in here into the dash. So your low power mode, which reduces, throttle input. I guess I got used to being in control, and it kind of feels like occasionally that, I don't know, like you're lacking power. I know it doesn't really go away. It works well, but I have mixed thoughts about that. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Of course, I had the roof put on. One of the things I'd like to do, point out, is I got these KRX drains, and those are from Deranged Off-Road. Those guys have a great channel out there. I'll put a link below. Go ahead and check those out. But you just pop off the rubber seals that come stock, and you pop in these really cool drains that say KRX, so you don't have water buildup inside the cockpit of the car. But anyway, a couple of questions I had from some of my subscribers. Had a couple of emails sent. And I want to talk a little bit about the suspension. And I had some guys ask me, well, the KRX, I was talking about how beefy the control arms are here and how solid they are compared to some other machines. And I had one particular subscriber send me an email, and he was asking, well, why is the top one so short? And that's all around on these. The top one is a little shorter than the bottom. And your lower control arm you know, is longer, and you have the top control arm, which is shorter. But there's a reason behind this madness, you know. The email was kind of funny. He said, well, you know, you're getting shortchanged. Well, for those of you that understand suspensions, and there's also a great channel out there called Shock Therapy Inc. These guys explain it a lot better than I do. But if you look at their video, it will explain the articulation that happens with when you have a shorter control arm scenario and a negative camber. So what's going on is, as the machine goes over bumps or whoops and you have that articulation up and down, the tire, if you have control arms here that are the same size or same length, if you will, as the tire articulates up and down, as it settles, you have something called track width scrub, and it scrubs, so to speak, as it's coming down. It'll kick rocks out to the side, and it's trying to, you know, put itself back into position. When you have the shorter control arms and the negative camber, it allows the tire to articulate correctly, and you never lose that line of traction. Now, I'm not explaining it as technical as the, you know, a lot of the guys will. I by no means am an expert, but it makes a lot of sense when you see it on paper. And I'll drop a link to the Shock Therapy video below, but explains it a lot better. But anyway, that's why the suspension is so plush and you have so much control on the KRX. Whoever came up with the idea behind the suspension, you know, he kind of knew what he was doing, he or she, whoever it may be, because you had that, you're still allowed to have that articulation and travel, but as the tire comes down in, you know, from a bump, or as it's compressing, as it decompresses, instead of having that scrub to the side, it actually stays on track. So when you make that turn, it pulls you right over and it tracks your line very efficiently, as opposed to, you know, 90% of other machines that you have that scrubbing action going on, and you're losing traction. So the bottom line is, the suspension on the KRX, the geometry of it, there's a reason behind its madness. It keeps, I understand now fully why the ride is so plush on this, and why you have such good control when you're going through, you know, speed and whoops and things of that nature. But I wanted to touch on that briefly because I had a couple people asking about it. It is a monster. The power is there. It is not a dragster. It's not meant to be. It is meant to be able to climb and walk over very intense steep terrain, rocky conditions, and do it very comfortably. So far, just shy of 1,500 miles. Really good machine. The Talon, of course, I enjoyed, but I'm telling you, the customer service seems to be a lot better on the Kawasaki. I'll point that out as well. With Honda, and if you guys seen my previous videos, there was a lot going on with my engine failure, things of that nature. The customer service aspect, when you got them on the phone, it's way different. When you talk to Kawasaki, I mean, they're there to help. They're not there to give you the runaround or call you back. Every time I've called, which has only been twice, I've been able to get a straight answer, and very quickly. So hats off to Kawasaki for that. That speaks a lot to me as a consumer, that they really want to take care of their customers. But anyway, the 2020 Kawasaki KRX 1000. I apologize for not putting a video up. Been extremely busy, especially what's going on. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll put a link to those drains, and I'll put a link to the Shock Therapy video down there as well. They really explain it, and those guys are really sharp. Thanks everybody. I hope everybody stays safe. Enjoy your day, and thanks for the view. Have a great day.